Okay, our final guest speaker, Superintendent of Lancaster City Schools, Mr. Steve Wigton.
Well, thank you. Many of you may think that I shut those lights off so that we could see the PowerPoint better. But when you have a head like mine, you get a little nervous about overhead lights, so that's the real reason. I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for the opportunity to speak with you here today about Lancaster City Schools and to showcase what's best about Lancaster City Schools, and that's some of the student programs that we have. You saw our chamber singers, culinary arts, and our criminal science folks, and we certainly appreciate the opportunity to host this event. So I'd like to begin my presentation with an update of our master plan to replace all of our schools with new modern buildings to educate the youth of our community. In August of 2015, we opened 3 new elementary buildings, Mount Pleasant, Gorsuch West, and Tarhee Trails. And this school year, we completed the elementary construction phase with the opening of Talmadge in August and Medill just this past January. We've sold 3 old elementary buildings. South Elementary went to Fairfield Community Health Center, Cedar Heights to Meals on Wheels, and West to the Victory Hill Church. And we have 1 more building to sell, which is East Elementary, and that will go up for public auction on April 21st. Now, over the past 2 years, we began a partnership with Fairfield County Head Start to combine our preschool programs to share services and resources. And our goal is to provide the community with quality preschool education to all families, regardless of income. Next year, the preschool partnership will be housed at both Sanderson and the old Tarhee buildings. Now, with the completion of the 5 elementary schools, we're now moving into the second phase of our Ohio Facilities Construction Commission master plan with the construction of 2 new junior highs. And thanks to your renewal of the earned income tax in November of 2015, we're able to finance the construction of our portion of the 2 junior highs without asking for additional tax dollars. Now, the final phase of the master plan, which the state will pay 45% of the costs, will be a new Lancaster High School. I showed you this slide last year, and this is the site for the new Thomas Ewing Junior High, which is out on Sheridan Drive just before Rainbow Drive, which is the old Kreitz Farm property. And I wasn't able to show you this slide last year, but I can now. We finally determined our location for the new General Sherman building, which is the Timbertop property on Columbus Street and the Pulte Homes property adjacent to River Valley Highlands. The site is also large enough to allow us to relocate our transportation hub from its current location, behind Thomas Ewing Junior High. And we are well aware of the traffic that these new buildings will create, and I want to assure everybody that we're working with the city to develop the best plan to accommodate the increase in traffic. By the way, welcome back, Mayor Smith. Got a lot of work to do. Our planning and construction team is the same as the team we had for the new Talmadge and Medill buildings. We began the planning process for the junior highs in December and are using the same design for both buildings. I do not have any plans to share with you today, but I can tell you that 6th grade students will be housed in a single floor section of the building, and then grades 7 and 8 will be housed in a 2-story section. And then in the middle will be a common section housing the administration, media center, art, music, gymnasium, and cafeteria areas. And we should have some plans to share with the public here probably in the next 2 months. Looking at Jerry, okay, all right. Now, we're hoping to break ground on the Thomas Ewing site this fall and follow up with General Sherman next summer. We plan to open both buildings in August of 2020. Now, if we can get the Ewing site started this fall, we may have the building ready to open as early as January 2020. But the safe date to talk about right now is August 2020. And as for a new Lancaster High School, the Board of Education will vote on a resolution to apply to the OFCC to begin the active planning process for a new high school at next Tuesday's meeting. This will allow us to work with the OFCC to determine cost projections for the construction of the building. We can then determine how much money we will be asking voters to approve in a bond levy to finance our portion of the construction costs. We have to apply now so that the OFCC share of the costs will be available by 2020 when we open the new junior highs. So, prior to the completion of the junior highs, we'll be coming to the voters for approval of a bond levy to construct the new high school. Now, this slide shows an aerial view of Arbor Valley, which includes the current Thomas Ewing building, the transportation hub, Fulton Field, and then on back Lancaster High School and the fields behind Lancaster High School for athletics and band. Now, we're planning to construct a new high school on its current site, which will take up some of the field spaces behind Lancaster High School. These fields will then have to be relocated, which is one of the reasons why we're building Ewing on a new site and are looking to relocate the transportation hub. And by clearing out these two areas, we'll have space to expand and to relocate the fields behind Lancaster High School. Now, as I stated earlier, we're financing the construction of our two new junior highs within our current finances. We're able to accomplish this because we adhere to responsible budgeting practices which give us financial stability in the long term. And our operating expenditures are consistently the lowest among Fairfield County school districts based on the state report card. And our percentage of funds spent on classroom instruction are consistently the highest among Fairfield County, putting our financial resources where it matters most, in the classroom. Being a large school, we strive to provide an excellent education to each of our 6,388 students. And although we are a large district, we focus on individual student academic growth. And we provide staffing to keep our staff-to-student ratio low and provide a technology-rich environment for our students. We've been one-to-one with iPads at the high school for the past 4 years. And at the start of next school year, all students in grades 6 through 12 will be issued Chromebooks that they can take home and use at school. And then by January, we plan to deploy enough Chromebooks for every student in grades 3 through 5 for use at school. And we also have quite a few iPads that kindergarten and second grade will be using so that they have a rich supply to augment their instruction as well. And our commitment to students' individual academic growth, as measured by the state report card's value-added measure, has earned our district the highest grade, a grade of A, for individual student academic growth. In order to meet the needs of our students, we have comprehensive programs beginning at the elementary level. We provide enrichment in art, phys ed, music, and technology skills. We provide all special ed services in kindergarten through 12th grade. And we have all-day, everyday classes for our gifted students starting in 3rd grade. In our junior highs, we continue our academic programs for all students, including our gifted students with honors level classes in the academic areas. and we provide a rich variety of electives, including Spanish, algebra, geometry for high school credit. We even offer robotics in 8th grade, which is the class that attended the Manufacturing Day sponsored by Fairfield County Economic Development Organization. And that was a paid promo, by the way. In our junior high, we offer co-curricular and extracurricular, band, and athletics. And starting this year, we have added junior high baseball and junior high softball to our junior high athletic programs. And once students reach our nationally ranked bronze-rated high school, we have a wide variety of educational options. In the academic areas, we have the honors, we have advanced, we have college credit plus, we have career technical programs, we have online courses, and we have STEM classes to make our students ready for college and career fields. I'd like to point out that we had a 100% graduation rate this past year for our career technical students. The electives at Lancaster High School expand into all areas with multiple levels, which allows students to individualize their education. And we're one of the very few schools in Ohio to offer astronomy in our own planetarium. And of course, to round out our students' experiences, we provide award-winning programs in band, choir, and drama, along with an extensive number of sports and clubs. But it's our extraordinary staff that bring these programs to life for our students. And this year, we'll be saying goodbye to a man who has had a profound impact on the students in Lancaster City Schools and on the city of Lancaster itself. And I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to turn the podium over to a man that we all know and love, our high school principal, Mr. Jack Greathouse.
You know, when Mr. Wigton asked me to speak, he said, "You're not shy around microphones, are you?" Well, I am. I would like to say, another thing that come to mind, he was showing the new high school and had that arrow pointed. I thought, if I don't retire, I think he's pointing out where they're going to bury me, right there. I tried to prepare something, and I couldn't. There's no way that I could, because the people I would omit, there's a lot of people here. Steve Wigton has been an unbelievable mentor for me. And it's so nice to see how good things are really going. And we remember going in when we had to cut 100 and some teachers, and it was not good. But this district, this community, all the community schools are phenomenal. We live in such a great place. I hope you realize that. Lancaster is special. I've said it from day one. What makes it special, it's hard to identify. We all can do it in our own way. But I will tell you, it's the people that make it special. And don't get me wrong, we need a new building. We need those things. But it is the people in there. It's the staff in the trenches. It's the teachers, the cooks and custodians, and it's the counselors. It's everybody. That's what it takes. And I look out here today and I see our law enforcement and friends, people that we have worked hand in hand. I see our parks represented. I see all of our leaders and the library my gosh, I could go on. And I promise I won't. it's been very, very good. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say that there's a part of me, Miss Iman, that I wanted to take my jacket and throw it off one last time. Those that remember the coaching days, once in a while my jacket would happen to slip up into the air. And it was all because of passion. If you were to label me, there's a lot of things you can say, I'm sure good and bad. But I have always wore my emotions on my sleeve. I'm passionate about our kids. I'm passionate about the people that work with kids. I'm passionate about all the people in this community, because I truly believe in my heart that you can con a con and you can fool a fool, but you can't kid a kid. They know. They know. And if there's ever been a time in education where it truly takes that village to raise a child, it's now. It truly, these partnerships that we've been able to show up here today, and all of you that represent various factions of our community through your work and through your personal gift, it's now. There's a lot of challenges. There's, as our demographics change, I want to tell you that there's a lot of great things, though, that are still going on. Lancaster High School, Lancaster City Schools, and all the schools are very blessed to have the kids that we have and the parents and the people that we have with them. Because the best of the best, I'll stack up against anybody. Anybody. I believe that. I thank you. I really appreciate it. Again, there's so many people. I look back, see I've got a lot of former players out there, colleagues I've worked with, our Board of Education. Man, you people deserve a special. You give up so much time. People don't realize. And you have been incredible. From the bottom of my heart, Lancaster City Schools, and good old LHS, thank you. Have a great day.